Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh, and we used to say that we are the real world channel for the real world whiskey consumer. We stopped saying that because it's hard to say, but we are very consumer focused, and today we're talking about the 5 main types of bourbon in our minds. And I know a lot of bourbon nerds might be watching this and saying, hold on a minute, bourbon is bourbon, and that's it. New charred oak, certain proof parameters, aged in America. Like, there's things about bourbon that make bourbon bourbon. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, from the consumer standpoint, the 5 types of bourbon that we've identified within our own collection. And this topic came about, kind of spurred in part with a conversation I was having with a friend, Randy G, over at Spirited Reviews. Check out that channel. Also, this came from comments asking about our collection of over 300 bottles that we have. And we don't really have a collection of bottles because we don't really have anything collectible. We have a lot of open bottles that is a selection of things to drink from. And we're going to talk about some of the main categories that we've identified in our selection of bottles that we have. So we're going to go over these. We've got mixer-friendly pours. That's a pretty obvious one. We have bourbon-flavored bourbon, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. We've got our regular sippers, top shelf pours, and then special guest-only bottles, things we only break out and taste when we're sharing them with friends.
Because sharing is caring.
Not things we indulge in on our own necessarily, unless it's like a wedding or like a wedding anniversary or a birthday or something like that. So anyways, we're going to go over these 5 topics. We have some example bottles. I think when we get into this, we should say that these are our categories, specifically kind of mine. Erin just kind of mooches off whatever I'm having around the house.
Facts.
Or we call her the social sipper because she sips socially.
Yeah.
It's really the only time she drinks whiskey.
Yeah, is when we're recording videos, which is social. It's social adjacent. Or when we're with people. Like, I don't drink a lot of whiskey at home just chilling. Like I know a lot of our viewers do, and you do. So that's why we call me the social sipper, even though people say that I need to be more than a social sipper. I really am not. Like, I might have a better palate than 4 years ago when we started, but I'm still a social sipper, and that probably won't ever change.
Yeah, and neither of us drink in volume. Like, we're much more sippers and tasters than we are drinkers, although the mixers and the bourbon-flavored bourbons are going to kind of tie in a little bit more to, like, drinking rather than sipping. But let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's do it.
We'll get some examples along the way. Important caveat that we don't drink in volume, so some of these later categories we might be willing to spend more on, but your categories may differ than ours. I'm bringing this up as a topic more to spur thoughts on your part watching this, to think about why you purchase the things you purchase. And we'll talk about that as we go through the categories. But as we get into mixer-friendly pours, these are things that we really are not drinking neat almost ever.
They're pretty much exclusively used as a mixer in a drink.
And what do mixers need to be? They need to be cheap. They need to be easy to find, easily replaceable. Those are really the 2 main categories. And then they also need to go well with a lot of things. So we both have some examples. And
this one?
Yep. Erin's favorite cocktail, old-fashioned bourbon, is JTS Brown.
JTS Brown. This is what Josh uses to make, when we have it, to make my favorite old fashions ever. And we have your recipe for our old fashions somewhere in the history of our videos. So maybe you can search on our page, old fashioned.
It's our most popular video. You just search our videos by popularity.
So this is what he uses, and I love it. And I kind of want an old fashioned right now, actually.
So JTS Brown, when we can get it, it's not available in our state, but we go to Kentucky fairly often. So we'll grab bottles or even the big 1.75 liter plastic handles for like $30 up there when we're there. Also, we're from Nashville, Tennessee. We live in Nashville, Tennessee. Big Jack Daniels fans. I know some people are up in arms already because this is a Tennessee whiskey, but Tennessee whiskey is just bourbon that also goes through the Lincoln County process. It's not altering the flavor or anything like that. It is technically bourbon. Their master distiller said so. So if you want to argue with somebody, call up their master distiller and take it up with him, because he said it's bourbon. It's just also Tennessee whiskey. But Jack Daniels for mixing, really old number 7. I don't have any right now. We ran out, but we have this 100 proof bonded. Any of the lower price Jack Daniels stuff is great for mixing. Great in, we do like, Jack and Cokes here.
Jack and Ginger.
Jack and Ginger. All those sorts of things. Lemonade. sweet tea, Arnold Palmer's with Jack Daniels in them. Great for all that. Jack Daniels is definitely more of like an all-purpose.
Palmer's just tea and lemonade. There's no alcohol in an Arnold.
Correct, but you can put some in there.
Well, then it's not an Arnold Palmer.
It's a spiked Arnold Palmer.
I can't say that. Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer. Arnold Palmer. Yeah, Jack Daniels is the perfect, like, truly mixer type thing, whereas we use JTS Brown a little bit more for cocktails.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. We're out of our bottle of that as well.
That's another good option.
Yep, and sometimes we'll even step it up and go Wild Turkey 101, but that's starting to get a little bit pricey for just mixing for us and our budget. But everybody's budget's different.
Yep.
So, next category, bourbon-flavored bourbon. This is something that I feel like is near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
Only in theory, not in actually spending money on the bottles.
Yeah. Well, only because I feel like a lot of times I'll taste something and I'm like, yep, tastes like whiskey. And we have a YouTube channel, so I feel like I'm supposed to get more. But oftentimes, I don't. It tastes like whiskey, generally good. I generally enjoy it. It tastes like I expect it to taste. It's whiskey-flavored whiskey or bourbon-flavored bourbon, and that's not good. It's not I mean, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad.
Right. It's largely unremarkable. This would be like, to use some Gen Z or whatever lingo, it's like the MPC of bourbon. Like, there's a lot of MPC bourbons out there. The flavor spectrum of bourbon specifically is very narrow. So I've done this in other videos, but like, international whiskey has a broad flavor spectrum. You can get a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. Rye
is a little bit tighter, but still pretty wide. Bourbon, I mean, caramel vanilla oak is kind of the home base, and then you've got some, you might get some red fruits here, this, that, there.
Yeah.
But there's not a ton of variety in the profile.
Yeah.
I kind of break them up into like fruity sweet bourbons versus like candy bar sweet bourbons versus dessert bourbons versus like the opposite of all that, which is just, nutty and kind of like earthy.
But within that, a lot of bourbon tastes like bourbon.
Yeah. And
that's good. It's fine.
Largely indistinguishable from anything else. So what we're talking about here, in my opinion, most bottles that are like $40 and under are kind of good. Like, I'm not talking about the bottom shelf stuff like Evan Williams Black Label or Old Crow or anything like that. I'm talking about like your, $20 to $40 bottles. Most bourbon just tastes like bourbon. Maybe it's fruity sweet or maybe it's candy bar desserty sweet, but there's only a differentiation in flavor profile. You're not going to get a largely different sipping experience overall.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of, you can just swap one out for the other. And
depending on the flavor you want.
And these bottles, honestly, like, we're kind of being tongue-in-cheek calling it bourbon-flavored bourbon. Not trying to be derogatory. People do put work into this. But to me, these are like what I would call a background bourbon. I'm just going to throw it in a rocks glass. Neat for me because I don't like cold whiskey. But I would just have it in a rocks glass. And I'll just sip on it in the background while I'm watching a football game or while I'm grilling some food or something like that.
And that's not a bad thing. There is a place for that type of whiskey in the market.
Yeah, there is. And then Erin's got an example over there.
Right here.
Yeah, talking about an elevated mixer. But really, this is Wild Turkey 101's wheelhouse. Good, solid bourbon. It is not an impressive pour, but it is just a good quality pour. But you're also not drinking this necessarily and like trying to pick up all the flavor nuances because it's fairly simplistic. And for me, specifically speaking, this is where Buffalo Trace shines. So I really enjoy Buffalo Trace for this. And if it were easier to find, Eagle Rare would be my choice.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Eagle Rare was my choice all through like the late...
Back in the day when it was easy to find.
Yes. From the late 2000s to the early teens, Eagle Rare was like one of my go-to bottles that I just bought all the time, and I just generally sipped it in the background. And then I stopped drinking in the mid-teens for some personal reasons, because this stuff is for the good times, not the bad times. Hard season of life. We don't need to get into all that. This is not therapy, but you do need to take care of yourself. So I took a break from drinking for a while, and then when life got really good again, started enjoying some pours again, went back, tried to buy Eagle Rare again. Nowhere to be found. And it is still very hard to get in our market. Buffalo Trace, much easier to get in our market. Pretty much all the stores get it the last weekend of the month, but that is specific to the Nashville market. But I can, for $30 or $35, Buffalo Trace is a high enough quality but still fairly simplistic bourbon flavored bourbon that I can just throw in a rocks glass, drink in the background, generally enjoy, unoffensive. If I can find one with this little gold sticker that's a store pick or a silver sticker on Eagle Rare like that, try to keep a bottle of this around at all times, the regular versions and the store pick versions, because I just like to have that variety. E.H. Taylor small batch, also a very good pour for this specific purpose that I like a lot when I want a little bit more proof, but still generally easy sipping and enjoyable. I think that's honestly a lot of people's use case. So I think a lot of people drink like that. You know, they're sitting by the fire, they're camping, they're watching a football game, they're, you know, having pours with friends, and they're more focused on what they're doing, and the whiskey is just like an accompaniment to it. And Buffalo Trace is really popular. And I know why, because it's generally sweet, pretty low on spice, disappears in the background, great. But there's so many, like 80% of bourbons on the market
could fall into this
category. And it's hard to get excited about them over the years.
But they do serve a purpose.
Yeah. It's not that we don't care about this category. It's just there's a lot of things that do what these pours do. So, you know, if you can't get those, there are hundreds of other bottles that can do what these do. Next category, our regular sippers.
Yes.
This is where things get a little bit more nuanced for us because, again, Erin is a social sipper, so she doesn't really regularly sip anything unless she's just mooching off of me.
Unless he's poured something and he's like, here, you can have a sip. And I'm like, okay.
But if you're like, hey, I do want some bourbon, I know what to pour you.
Yes, you do.
And
it
go ahead and bring it up.
And if anyone's watched the channel, you already know. You know. Rare breed.
Yep. For me, this is more of a category, and it's a category that I used to be comfortable spending like $50 to $100 based on our budget and our expendable money for miscellaneous things like whiskey. That has crept up to like the $50 to $150 category.
As things do.
Because I don't drink in volume, I'm usually just pouring like an ounce or two in a Glencairn, you know, just maybe like up to there, just to enjoy a pour or maybe two max. So I don't mind spending more. We have over 300 bottles in our house, so the bottles last a lot longer.
Yeah.
For me, you know, I'll go to restaurants and I'll order the same menu item once I find what I like at that restaurant all the time.
You do, yeah.
But I love sampling all different types of restaurants. I love going to new restaurants. Bourbon is kind of the same way. I want to sample all different kinds of things. I don't want to order the same menu item all the time. I want to go to this restaurant and get that, and that restaurant and get this. And I want to bounce around and explore the different flavors that are offered. So I brought some bottles that can best represent this.
Do you have several? Do I need to move my
I do.
Singular bottle?
I'm going to pull out some of my favorites here.
Okay.
So Nashville Barrel Company, we live very nearby.
We do.
We also do a lot of barrel picks there. This is one of our picks. You can get our barrel picks through Patreon, patreon.com/stuffandwhiskey, where we go to distilleries, put our stamp of approval on the barrel that we taste. We taste through a bunch of barrels, put our stamp of approval on it. We're always looking for that little bit of it factor that elevates a bottle above and beyond something that's really good available on the shelf, like Rare Breed, or like some of the other bottles we'll talk about here in a second. But yeah, we love single barrel picks. We do a ton of them. Check it out over on Patreon if you'd like. But also, Green River picks are great value. And this is a Barrels for Hope pick, which is a charity organization. So you've got a YouTube channel pick here. You've got a charity organization pick here, which I happen to be on the board for, vice president.
I'm noticing a trend.
Well, if I can go pick the barrel, that helps. But we're going to talk about some other ones that I haven't in a second.
Well, I'm noticing a trend of barrel picks.
Oh, barrel picks for sure. Because it's a single barrel expression. Now, I did grab the Green River Full Proof, just the regular one. And this is a super fine bottle. Like, this is a very good bottle. I think Rare Breed and Green River Full Proof are like the two best values. And they're going to be higher proof. But single barrel picks just take the Green River thing and amplify it even more.
Well, and I think for regular sippers, to say your regular sipper go-to is a barrel pick of some kind.
Yeah, and I want
whatever mood you're feeling that day, because it's different ones, like Nashville Barrel Company or.
And I want to highlight some specific ones that people can look out for if they like what we like.
Okay.
Russell's Reserves. So this is like a single barrel version of Rare Breed. So this is what Russell's Reserve does really well. It's a little bit older than Rare Breed on balance, and really like these. This is just from a store, from somewhere.
A store pick?
Yep. And we also have a local store, and they do a bunch of really great picks as well. So Jack Daniel's single barrel, barrel proof Tennessee whiskey. Again, it is a bourbon. Take it up with Chris Fletcher, the master distiller, not us, in the comments below. Send him a mean email if you want. Tell him his stuff that he calls bourbon isn't bourbon. Let him respond to you. But these are just a variety of things that are really good. I did also grab Four Roses Small Batch Select because we kind of neglected this product for quite a while. And for $50, it's very good. It would kind of fit in the same category as Rare Breed. But what you have here is, whether it's a YouTube channel that you watch and they can tell you what to expect out of the barrel pick, whether it's a charity organization that you want to support and you want to get some cool barrels in the mix, barrelsforhope.com. If you want to check that out, we have a few membership spots available if you want to get in on those. Russell's Reserve, just any store pick. I mean, we did 2 Russell's Reserve picks, and they should be coming up very soon.
Hopefully.
So, again, barrel picks for us, but I'm not talking about ours on these right now. I'm just saying generally. We've bought these from restaurants in Kentucky. We have friends get them when they see them in other states and send them to us. That's what happened with this one right here. Or if you have a local store that does picks and you trust their palates, you know why they're picking what they're picking, or you can taste it before you buy it.
Yeah.
Great to do that as well. And Jack Daniel's picks are very good.
Yes. I do think the key with picks is knowing the palate that's picking it.
Yeah.
And or why they picked it, or what they tend to try to pick. Because if you're like, you like softer flavors and someone is going for a pick that has bold flavors, you're probably not going to like the pick.
Right.
So knowing the palate picking, or being familiar enough with the palate picking to be okay if for some reason you don't like it, is important.
Yeah.
When dealing with picks.
Which we take very seriously when we do picks. We communicate heavily with our Patreon members so they know what they can expect. All right, next up, we're off of our regular sippers. Like, if I just want something on any weeknight or something, I'm going to grab a single barrel pick. That's just what I'm going to grab. If you want something, I know I'm going to pour you Rare Breed. You're going to be happy. Yeah. But now we want to maybe elevate it a little bit. We want something that's a little bit more of a treat yourself type of pour. And this is stuff that we will enjoy ourselves from time to time, but we're not going to go crazy and drink it all the time because it's a little more expensive or a little harder to replace. Yeah. So we did make an exception for Erin.
Thank you.
Because she knew exactly what she wanted here.
Because I actually had an opinion on this, because I am a rye girl. I'm a rye guy. Yep. So there's a little rye I snuck in here. So it's whiskey. It's not bourbon, but it's whiskey. It still kind of counts.
I mean, it's a very bourbon drinker friendly
rye. It's a bourbon
rye.
Drinker's rye too. So this is Michter's Toasted.
Toasted barrel rye, yeah.
Yeah, toasted barrel rye.
Love this stuff. For me, there are a couple of shelf bottles that would be available, or not available. They're harder to get. That's why they're an elevated pour, and I don't drink them all the time. But for me, this is pretty easy. I mean, for regular release stuff, Stag Jr., Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, these have long since been my elevated sippers for years and years and years and years and years. Yeah. Love both of these products. Don't love every batch of Stag Jr. Don't love every batch of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So when I get a good batch, I like to try to buy backups of it instead of buying every single release. I don't have to buy every single release. Yeah. Also, Bardstown Discovery Series 12 was a recent release that really did it for me as well, which was a regular item. But if I'm being honest, if I'm really being honest with you guys,
be honest.
What I'm grabbing is like an elevated single barrel pick that's a little bit more expensive.
Josh is a single barrel guy. Yeah. Like this is what I think you have learned about yourself, is like you really do get excited about single barrels.
Yep. This is a pick that we did with the Reveries. It's a 17-year Buffalo Trace distilled. It's basically like a proofed up version of Eagle Rare 17. It's crazy good. All that aside, like the Reveries picks like this one, or like some of our most prized National Barrel Company picks that we've gone on and done ourselves, or picks that I've gotten from stores that I really, really enjoy, maybe bought a backup of, like that Jack Daniel's single barrel that I just showed from a local store. Picks like that, when the pick is so good that I am going to be sad when it's gone, those become my special pours. Yeah. So the ones that are like, they're really, really good and I really love them.
Yeah.
But I know that another pick is coming down the pipeline. I'll drink those more regularly. The special stuff, either
you drink it more infrequently.
Yeah, because it is definitely a treat for me. So just being honest, those are what I reach for. I'm a single barrel guy. That's what I like.
Can confirm.
This is why we don't have a collection video, because we have a selection, not a collection, and over 80% of our bottles are just various single barrels.
Yeah.
So you can do the math on that.
And they're scattered all throughout our house too, which we don't have like one certain place where all of our whiskey is stored. It does not look pretty. We've got some in the kitchen, in the cabinet, in the garage. It's in Josh's closet.
It's not sightly at all. There's no display anywhere.
Yeah.
But yes, those are our top shelf pours, our elevated sipping experiences. Now, last category for us, the last type of bourbon that it's important to talk about, bottles so special and so good that you're not going to sit around and drink them by yourself unless it's a wedding anniversary or a
special
birthday
occasion. Yeah.
But by and large, these bottles only come out when guests are here. We want to share them. We want to create a special experience. And that's what these bottles are so good at.
Yeah.
Because is Rare Breed really good? Is Green River Full Proof really good? Yes. Can you create a special memory with a friend hanging out and having pours of those? You absolutely can.
Yep.
But you can also elevate that experience. And for us, that experience is worth paying a little bit of a premium for, putting in a little bit more legwork for. So we've got some examples here.
I don't have any over here.
You do.
Oh.
They're right there. You know what you got over there, girl.
I didn't want to show it because I want to save it for myself.
But we only drink it when guests come over.
I know, we do only drink it when guests come over. Can I take it out of the box?
Yep.
Okay.
I would recommend that you do. So what Erin is taking out of this box right here is a 1997 Wild Turkey Rare Breed. And it is wonderful. And obviously, we have shared and enjoyed this with many friends many times.
And this was a gift given to us by a friend.
And actually, all these are gifts.
Yeah, and we share them with friends. So it's like paying it forward.
Yeah, Bourbon Karma.
Yeah.
Russell's 15 was a recent release that just completely blew me away, and it's not so astronomically priced, even at marked up prices that I wouldn't be willing to splurge for it. Save up some money for a couple months. Don't buy some bourbon flavored bourbon for a few months, and I can afford a Russell's 15. That's where it comes down to for me. It's
priorities.
I would rather have more single barrels and more special bottles like these than I would just a bunch of bourbon flavored bourbon. That's just our preference. Yeah. We don't need a bunch more bottles. Matter of fact, I regularly
You're running out of space, buddy.
I regularly give away bottles to people, just bourbon flavored bourbon bottles.
Because he's using up all his space. Yeah. He's been allotted.
But I'm kind of bracketing this here, so Russell's 15 blew me away.
Yeah.
Still love it. This is our third bottle of it. Have a fourth one in the bunker. Went crazy on these. King of Kentucky, generous gift, amazing gift from a dear friend. To me, one of the most legendary pours of bourbon ever. Yeah. And a single barrel expression. They're all single barrels, so that makes it really fun because you can try one next to the other if you have two side by side. We happen to have a second one over there. I mean, Booker's Rise over there. Generations from Wild Turkeys back there. Like, these limited editions that are really worth the price. I would not put Old Forester Birthday Bourbon in this list for me
for
Erin,
me either. No.
But yeah, these like truly special pours. This is what the limited edition stuff to me is really good at, is that memory making experience. And I can just tell you, I know sometimes people, what they'll do is they'll have like a little Sharpie pen, and everybody that they share a special bottle with, they have them sign it.
Oh, that's cool.
I always mean to get those Sharpie pens so I can start doing the same thing.
I love that idea.
And I forget about it all the time. So anyways, just some ideas on categories of bourbon. Maybe you agree with them, maybe you disagree. We're fine with either one. You can let us know what you think in the comments below.
Yeah, and also if you have categories that you kind of break your selection or collection into that are maybe different, like let us know what your categories are.
Yeah, and I even include prices. Like mixers for me, it's got to be like $20 or under for a regular bottle, or $30 and under for a handle. Bourbon flavored bourbon, there's so many things in like the $30 to $40, $50 range. Really $30 to $70 just kind of tastes generally.
I'd say $30 to $80 for me.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And then everyday stuff for me, more $50 to $150. Top shelf pours, the best things I've tasted in that $50 to $150 price range, or maybe like an outlier like the Reverie 17, which is an over $300 bottle. Or like we've had some Four Gates I would put in that category. Port Perry Perry, that's a port finish rye, but you know, some of the Kelvin collaborations, things like that. And then the guest only super special memory making pours.
Yeah.
That's our list. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Be good to each other, and until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.